Hi friends, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and we're going to make a fun project together today. So I've got a couple options for you in case you don't have the same types of papers that I have, but let me show you real quick what we're going to make. So this one I made using some large book page, and it opens like this. Isn't that fun? And then if you turn it the other way, of course, you can, the other way is this way. You can open it and see both sides, okay? So it folds up nice and easy, and it has pockets in the 4 inside pages. So I've just made some fun tags. I guess that one you would, I alternated the side. I put the little thumb notches on. So when I designed this, I was thinking, you would look at a few on one side and then 2 on the other. So this was pretty simple and easy to make. I used one of the large coffee table books that I have. This one is, I've used it before in some videos, The Great Houses of Britain. You can see I'm steadily working my way through this book, so the papers are quite large. And then for the flowers, the floral components, I've already kind of chopped them up. I used this book, and this is the Time Life Encyclopedia of Gardening Perennials, and it has a lot of images of actual flowers, but then it also has a bunch of the florals drawn that are just so pretty. I've got to really come up with something really special for that page. So anyway, I've gotten a bunch of pretty flowers already torn and pulled out of the book so that we can make one together, and you can see how to do that. So I designed mine so it opens, like I said, like that, and then like this. Okay, so let me remember how it folds up. Okay, and then I just tied it with a loose ribbon. So what we're going to use is one piece of paper from that book, and I trimmed it down to be 12 inches. So this is 12 inches wide and then 9 inches tall. So if you don't have a large coffee table book that has paper like this, you could also use a piece of scrapbook paper, or just use scrapbook paper if you prefer that, a 12 by 12 sheet, and make it 12 by 9. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and use my coffee table book page since I have that. Now we are going to do a few scores, not many, just to make it easier to fold and make sure we get our sections of our little journal there the way we want it. So on the 12-inch side, okay, you're going to want to score at 2.5, at 5, at 7.5, and at 10. Okay, now I will make sure I put these measurements and those scores in the description of the video, so don't worry if you don't remember. If you don't have a scoreboard, just use a ruler and measure it off, and then use some kind of scoring tool to score it with the ruler. Now the next score is, you're going to turn it, and we're going to be scoring on the 9-inch side, and I'm just going to score it at 4.5, which is half of 9. So that should be the center if I've got my paper right. Or you could just fold yours in half. Okay, mine's pretty close. When you score, you kind of have to double check that everything is folding nice and straight. And this is what's going to make those pockets that we have in there. And then on the other scores, just go ahead and make sure they're nice and straight the best you can, and just fold them back and forth so that you really get the paper used to being folded, hopefully, on those lines. Okay, I find it a little bit easier if you go ahead and do that. And if you're a little bit of a zealous scorer like I was here, this one tore, but we can fix it. Everything's fixable. And this is old paper. It's pretty sturdy and doesn't tear too easily, but obviously I pressed down a little hard when I was scoring. Okay, so now I guess the important thing is decide which side of the paper you want to see, because this is just going to fold in half, and I do want more of the actual text to show. I like that look, so I'm going to fold mine that way. Okay, now the good news is where I tore mine, there's not a pocket on the ends. The pockets this way are in the fourth, 1, 2, 3, this fourth section. So there is a pocket in that section. So we'll fix that bottom in a minute. All right, don't want to confuse you guys. Okay, so decide which side you want to see, and then you have one section, if you'll notice, that is just, if you do this a zigzag fold, you'll notice you have one end that is a little more narrow, and I designed that to be the front cover. Doesn't quite come over. That was intentional. Now when I made this one, I added this little floral flap, kind of just because I wanted to. It's not necessary, but I do like how it allows you to kind of grab a hold. So we'll do that in the one we make together today. So then you have a pocket, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's no pocket in this cover section. So the first thing you want to do is just glue that section together. So now you'll see why it doesn't matter that we have that little rip, because we're just going to glue it together anyway. I'm going to use my Lineco brand PVA glue. It's just a wet white glue. Use whatever adhesive you like. If you want to see some of the things that I craft with and use, you can look on my link to my Amazon shop, and I've got a bunch of fun stuff listed there for you to look at if you're interested. Okay, so add glue. Don't go over the score line because you don't want to go into your pocket, and then just fold that in half. Okay, so pretty easy so far. Now, you could have gone ahead and laid glue down for these pockets, but I like to make my life difficult. If you haven't glued yours already, here, just I'll lift it up and show you. Just add glue down the middle, each of these score lines for the pockets. And then for this one that had the little bit where I was a little zealous, just add, in fact, maybe just go ahead. Since I was a little zealous, I'm going to go ahead and just put a line of glue all the way along to make sure the bottom does not come open. And that's it. Okay. So, I think when I made it before I glued that section, and then I just added a little bit of glue on each of those. But since I'm trying to show you guys how to do it an easy way, we will put the glue down first. Okay. So I want this to be the cover. So you do have to figure out which way to do the zigzag. So you got your small section here that's going to be the cover. So start with the end on the right side, and then fold it towards you, and then do the zigzag that way. And then it works. Okay, so now we have a cover. And we'll add a flap so that it pulls, but it's going to open this way. And then if you want to open it this way, you could. Okay. And we're going to then decorate it up. It's such an easy project. Oh, the other thing that I didn't do, which again would be a little easier to do before you glue it all together, is to put your little notches if you want to. I alternated and did a notch on either side. I think this time, maybe partly because I've already glued this together, but I also think it will be easier if I just go ahead and notch them so that they're notched on both sides. So it's obvious it's a pocket, and you can easily grab what's in there from either side, even if it's not really hanging out a lot, okay? I just noticed too, I didn't glue the last pocket closed. So go ahead and add a bead of glue just to close up the end of your little journal. Got to decide what to call this. I just like creating things that kind of have all these little elements, and it makes me happy, and I love all the bright colors of these flowers. Okay, so let me show you what I meant. I am going to, it's kind of hard to see until I ink this. So let me ink this for you so you can see each section. I can kind of feel it because I'm holding it and can feel, you can see it a little bit, these 4 sections, but we're not going to notch the cover. And I'm just going to eyeball about the center. And now, like I said, that's a pocket, but it'll be a little easier. I think I like this better. And because I'd like them to match, I'm just going to use that as a guide by folding it over. And then they're at the same depth. And then I've got 2 more to do. So I'll fold this over and use these 2 as a guide. All right, and it's pretty close. And now my 4 pockets all have little thumb notches. Okay, and as always, I usually tend to ink my projects with some Distress ink. This is walnut stain. And I'm just going to add a little bit. I can always later, when I'm not on camera, come back and add a little more if I want to. But I've got all the pages pretty much ready to go. And it's that easy. I really think this would be, really a pretty folio to make, or a little journal, whatever you want to call this, with some scrapbook paper that you love. Or, you know what, it might be a good way to use up scrapbook paper that you don't love, because then you can layer other things on it and turn it into something you really like. If you have some scrapbook papers you're struggling to use, which I do. I have just a bunch in my stash that I need to do something with. So, okay. Now, the first thing we're going to do is, remember how I folded this? Because now that I have, there we go. Now that I had it all unfolded to ink, it got a little wonky on me. The first thing I want to do is make this flap like I did here. So of all of my images that I already tore out of my book, there were a couple that were wide. This one would probably work the best. This one would work pretty well. Okay, I think I'm going to use this one, and the fun thing is it does have a flower also on the other side, which makes it kind of fun. Now, I don't want to cover up my notch, so one option is I can punch it out, or I can go ahead and just trim this a little bit shorter. So I'm going to use this little tear ruler that I have to give it a little bit of a more of a tattered, torn edge. And then let's see what we've got here. Now, what I want is this to come about to the edge. I added the little circle tab pull on that one, so maybe over about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, that's about 1/4 of an inch, or a little more than 1/4, maybe 1 centimeter. And then to make it pull out like that, we're going to lay it here, and then I'm just going to fold it over. Okay, now when I glue just this piece down, if you guys can see this, we're going to glue just this section down, then this is going to open for us. And we have a flower on the other side. Before I do that, let me ink it, and then once I put it on here, you'll get a good sense of what I'm talking about. And then we can also add a little pull tab to it. Okay. sure what all's going to show. So let's just get it inked on both sides. When you are gluing down, it's definitely easier to ink it before you glue. And now I've cleared my little notch. All right, so I have it where I want it, and I'm just going to add glue to this panel right here and fold it over. Okay. So now this is going to be the cover. We still have to decorate that, but when we open it up, look at that. It opens just like the other one. How easy. It kind of looks complicated, but it's not. So I love things like that. It's just like, ooh, that's impressive. And then when you actually go to do it, you realize, oh, that's not such a big deal. All right, I've got a bunch of circles and doodads here. So I'm going to find one that I like. This is just like a little offcut of some tabs. Maybe we'll use that. Where are my scissors? I'm going to cut it right there. And let's see if I can turn this into something interesting. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. All right. So if you don't have a little box of doodads like I do, doodads, you know, look through a magazine, find a word or some numbers or something you're interested in. And I think that's going to look interesting there. And then what it does is it encourages whoever's looking at this little journal in the future, like, oh, I should pull that, right? Because it's going to hang over just like a little tab. Just enough. So I am going to glue this side down. And then lift this up. And I probably should have glued this side first, but it's all good. Okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. And you get a little peek of it through on the front cover, which is something I really liked about this one too. You fold over, you see the number right there. Okay, so what should we put on the front? And then really the rest of this is just going to be me fiddling on where to put all the flowers and maybe adding some number labels and some things like that. So I don't know if I'm going to decorate every page on camera. Oh, isn't that a cute flower on that side? I didn't even see it before I started adding my glue. I'll do a few pages and I'll make one of the tags to show you how to do that, and then probably stop because you get the idea of what we're doing here. Woo! Now, I love also, to, as you guys know, to add words and things like that to my my projects. So I may even, on this one, because I'm not going to finish it probably on camera today, I may do that. I may add some quotes or some encouraging words or something like that. This one I left kind of for whoever has it one day. They can go back through. There's still plenty of space. You know, you can cover up some of the images and flowers, but you could add an encouraging word or note. And you certainly can fit more in these pockets if you wanted to do journaling cards with writing space on them. You know, that would be nice too. So, I didn't do this on the other one. On the cover, my image I picked went all the way, I'm going to keep that in that one, all the way to the top. But I was trying to see if I just had a little something. It's not necessary, but maybe to just add. I think I'll add this label just because I'm feeling it. Yeah. I'm going to add it right there, and then it kind of gives it a little more on the cover. It's so fun when you get to this point when you're crafting, or I think it is, to just go, ooh, I like this and I like this. All right, before I glue that down, I'm going to pick an image to go on this panel. Maybe a pink one. And it just fits. I could have trimmed it off some, but it fits. So we'll just glue her down and not worry about it. And I did kind of go back and forth on my other project, kind of bringing them up and down and putting the labels in different places. So, you know, play with it. And again, if you don't have a book with pretty flower pictures to cut up, you could put anything, you know, this doesn't have to be just flowers. You could do scenery, you could do geometric shapes and patterns, other scrapbook papers. I think it'll be fun to do like old photos, anything like that would be super fun. Okay, we've got our cover done. Let's get something on this panel. This will be good to make tags with, these kind of larger ones. I really like this flower right here. Now I did this on just a few of the ones in my original, is I just kind of finger tore around the image a little bit, just so they're not all completely, you know, kind of this square shape. We'll see how this looks. Sometimes the finger tear does something weird like that, and then you're like, oh no. I don't tear the best on a circle, you know. Sometimes you have to just kind of fiddle with it and hope you don't go too deep. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right. So I had a lovely day. It's actually, I don't usually film this late in the day. It's about 4 o'clock here, I believe. And my son and his girlfriend came over this morning for a visit, and we got to sit out in the backyard. It wasn't hot yet. It was so nice outside, and just talk and visit and play with my 2 little dogs, Harry and Matt. They were so happy that more of their children are home. And then after they left, I got ready and I had lunch with a dear friend of mine that we used to work together. And it's so strange not going to the office anymore and not seeing people that I worked with for years and years. So it was really nice to have lunch with her. I'm going to add that right there. And so I've just had a lovely day. But I've been thinking about filming this super easy little mini journal for you guys. Oh, I'm happy with that. That I was like, you know what? I have time. 1, 2, 3. All right, I've got 4 panels here. You know, I have time. I can go ahead and get this one done. All right, I'm going to try to like not have all pink in a row or all blue in a row or something like that. So I'm just kind of laying these out here to get a sense. And I have others in the book if I want to. That's kind of a purple, so I think that's okay. I could switch and do this one. Why don't I do that? Because I've got the other side to do too. So that's kind of how I did the first one. So I just laid them out and I got a sense of where I wanted them, and then I glued them down. And I'm going to not worry about figuring out little labels or words or numbers on these, since I like the order that I just picked for these 4. I am going to go ahead and just glue them down really quick, and then I'll show you how I made the tags. They're all a little different, but the idea is about the same. And I'll finish this one off camera. So it is July 4th week. I was going to mention that. It is July 4th week. My husband is working through tomorrow. Then he's off July 4th and then Friday and the rest of the weekend. And it's our youngest daughter's birthday this weekend. Happy birthday early, dear. So we actually have quite a few things planned, you know, with our family. We're going to have a cookout and just really enjoy being together. My daughter, the one who just graduated from college, she is in Maine. So she won't be with us, but the rest of the kids will. So that'll be fun. And when you add in some girlfriends and boyfriends, I don't know, we'll have a pretty good crowd here. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys have, ooh, that's a pretty flower. I hope you guys have some fun plans going on. We also, I mentioned this before. So it's super hot, and this has happened here before, but you know, fruit flies. Have you guys had this issue? I just have to talk about this for a second. This is going to look even better, I think, when I get some more embellishment and things on there. In fact, I have a piece of this washi tape sticker that will stick on one of them just to show you how it's going to just look fabulous once I get done embellishing. But there we go. See how that just makes all the difference? Add a few little numbers in there and we're good. So my youngest daughter wasn't well when she first got home from Italy, and so she was up in her room. She had the COVID and was, you know, making sure the rest of us didn't get it, and had fruit up there and different things. And I think probably didn't get all the garbage out as we should have, you know, teenagers. But it happens. These things happen. You know, if you leave a banana or an apple too long on the counter in the fruit basket, that kind of thing, you sometimes end up with fruit flies. Well, we have all I'm doing is inking around the edge, and I made this narrow so it will fit in the pocket, and then I'll show you how I'm going to kind of reinforce it. But, we have, you know, a bug company who sprays and helps with those things. We live in the South and you have bugs. And it has just been one thing after another getting them here. And so they finally dropped off some traps, and we got those put out, and then they were supposed to come spray, and then they canceled and said they didn't have what they needed and they were gonna have to reschedule. Oh my gosh, just round and round we went. And then they came and they brought just like another 1 or 2 traps, and then they left and said, yeah, we'll be in touch. So I'm just not quite sure how I feel about that. And I'm bringing it up simply because it doesn't sound like a big deal. And I guess it's not, like, in the great scheme of things, it's really not a big deal. But goodness, like, can't we do a little better, people? I think because it was probably fruit that we left out, or, you know, a bowl that had some blueberries or something in it that didn't get washed immediately. They're not too pressed about it. But anyway, if anybody has any ideas or suggestions on best and safe ways to deal with that, because of course I don't want anything that my dogs might get into or might not be okay for them. And it's not horrible. It's just basically like in her room and a little bit in the kitchen area. So it's not horrible. It's not like we're being taken over or anything. But all right, all I'm doing is, now that I'm telling you that we have bugs, my husband's probably not going to be happy if he listens to this video. I think he does watch, but he usually has it on mute, which is a good thing. But, you know, again, maybe somebody has an idea of what'll help. Like, I know if you're outside, like at a cabin, I'm just going to glue that down for the back. And this does work, because my aunts used to do this all the time. If you hang Ziploc bags or clear plastic bags just with water in them, like around your campsite or on your back deck or something, if you have a way to hang them, it keeps the mosquitoes away. And so that's like a natural, easy way to repel bugs, right? Without having to put chemicals and all kinds of icky stuff on your skin, which we don't like to do, right? So anyway, maybe somebody has an idea that I don't know about that can help us with our little issue with the fruit flies. And I know somebody will probably say, and feel free, that we need a different bug company. And we've already had that discussion. So anyway, okay, all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to try to get the numbers so that when you flip these circles over, I'm going to glue them back to, back to back, that the number on both sides, like it's not turned upside down. I think I did okay. And then I don't really want to cover up those flowers, so I'm just going to glue this like this. So just still, it peeps up like it's a little bit of a tab on top of my tag. Okay, now this by adding this little strip, just kind of folding them in. They're narrow enough. It's narrow enough now that it'll fit in my pocket. I like how the flowers look. I could add another little tab or something on here if I want to later to decorate it, but it should fit inside my pockets. Let's see if I did okay. There we go. They're kind of like tall and skinny. They're skinny pockets. Okay, so if I make 3 more and then add panel or flowers on these 3 panels back here, this one will be done. See how cute and fun that is? I just love this project. And then I can pick a ribbon that I think goes pretty with this flower. I feel like this ribbon coordinated well. You know, I had a very neutral flower here, and when you open it up, you kind of see that orange. So I kind of liked that with the orange there. And I'll pick a ribbon for this one. And if I can't find anything, even just like a piece of twine, you know, that would look cute with this, because it is kind of junk journal-y style and has those colors. So I'm very happy. I hope you guys like it. I hope you'll make one. Let me know. I would love if you're on any of the social medias, Instagram or Facebook, make sure we follow each other so I can see what you make. Leave me a comment, give me a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Have a great one, guys.